Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're in the kitchen again tonight, but we're not exactly baking. Instead, we are going to make a taco seasoning. Every time I do a recipe that involves using a seasoning, whether it's taco seasoning or Cajun seasoning, I get asked, well, where do you buy your seasonings? I don't buy them, I make them. So today we're going to make taco seasoning. This is really easy, and you probably have all of the ingredients in your cupboard already. So let's get started. Really simple. Okay. First of all, the first ingredient is going to be chili powder. I use 2 tablespoons of chili powder. Okay. Then we can put the tablespoon away. Don't need it. Next up, we need paprika. So we are going to do 1.5 tablespoons. So this is my 1/2 tablespoon measuring spoon. So 1.5 tablespoons. Get rid of that. Won't need that anymore. Give that a mix with your fork in between each one. And the reason why I do that is so that I'm not mixing a pile of ingredients. I like to just mix with a fork after each addition. Next up, cumin. Cumin is excellent. Okay, you're going to want 2 teaspoons of that. Okay, 2 teaspoons of cumin. Mix that in. Garlic powder. I like a lot of garlic powder, so I like 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. I also really like oregano. Now, oregano is not one you have to add as much as I do. A lot of taco seasonings have less oregano than I go, but I do a full teaspoon of oregano. I really enjoy oregano, so I like to add a lot. If you don't like oregano at all, you could substitute out something like thyme or basil, but oregano really makes a taco seasoning. Most taco seasonings you've ever tried have oregano in them. Next up, we're going to do onion powder. And I am going to do this one. I am going to do 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. Okay? Just 1/2 teaspoon. You don't need a ton. If you really like onion, you can add more than that. But I find that onion powder really easily overpowers everything else, so I take it easy on the onion powder. Next up, cayenne pepper. I do 1/4 teaspoon here. So you don't need a lot of heat, but you do need some. Remember, it's taco seasoning. You need some heat. Now next up, you do need salt and pepper. Okay, so I'm using a Himalayan sea salt, a Himalayan pink salt, and I'm doing 1 teaspoon of the salt. Just like that. And then I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of the pepper. And this is really essential. So it sounds like a lot of pepper and a lot of salt, but it's really not, because you're not using this entire thing all at once. Okay, you can do a reduced salt if you like. I don't find that that's quite as tasty because salt tastes pretty good. So give that a good mix. You can use it up immediately, or you can store it in an airtight container for quite a while. It's just powdered spices, so however long you would keep your spices, that's how long you can keep the spice mix. Okay, so I make mine, we use a lot of taco seasoning. We use it on a lot of things. So I make mine probably once a week, so mine doesn't last very long because we use it up. If you were going to store it long term, you could add an anti-caking agent. I prefer not to, but it is an option if you are going to use it, but not often, and you still want to make a big batch. So you can add an anti-caking agent, or if it does tend to clump after long-term storage, you can just break it up with a toothpick. It's not really that big a deal. So that is how you make taco seasoning. You can make tacos, you can make spaghetti, you can make all kinds of things that you want a little bit of a taco flavor with. And yes, I do add this to my baked spaghetti. It's delicious. Anyway, that is about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. I hope this helped those of you who kept asking where I get my spice mixes. And the answer is my spice cupboard. I mix them myself. We'll see you tomorrow.